Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Darla Lucian of Darla Lucian Studios, and today we're going to make this cute little envelope-y thing because I have to come up with a name for this thing. It'll be the title of this video, so I guess you'll know before I do. We're going to make this out of using a recycled paper bag. So this is just a paper bag. It's going to go in your signature of your journal like that. You could have it in the center as a centerfold and you'd see both of them, or there could be other pages in between, and then you'd be able to see this just so you have an idea of what I mean. I'm just going to bring in, so trying to find something that, so you could either have it in your journal so it would look like that, or, see, this is a elastic band one, or you could have it so that you see, you know, half on one side, half on the other side. And so we are just going to dive right in. So I filled this with ephemera so you can kind of see how it works. We got two side pockets here and a little pocket in the front. Now we're using mostly recycled stuff here. I'm trying to think of anything new here. Maybe just this little thing. Most of this is True Junk. Some of this is stuff that I was given. Other stuff is the stuff that I've created. So this is the prototype. I'm going to put it off to the side. I didn't cover the back because I thought, well, I wanted to prove to you it really was a paper bag, but also it makes good writing spot. There wasn't any printing on the back of this one. This one has printing on both sides, so we may end up covering both sides. We'll see. Maybe we'll even use coffee paper on one side, but I'm going to put the prototype off to the side, and so let's get started. So you're probably wondering why I have this medication pamphlet here that came in medication, and that's because I live in Canada, and so one side's English, but the other side is French, and I don't know about you, but it seems like if you hear about side effects and what to do about them, it just sounds better in France. Parlez-vous français? That's all I know. That's the extent of my French. Anyway, everybody gets all these French digitals and thinks that French digitals are where it's at. And sure, I mean, great. I love like French handwriting and stuff. I mean, that'd be wonderful. But if we're trying to use up True Junk and not always be using new items like buying digitals, then we have to consider some of the things that we already have in our house. And so there's lots of like text block on here that can be perfectly fine to use as collaging materials. So I'm just going to pull off some of these ones that are kind of bigger chunks. All right. There. I'm going to get this big chunk out of my way. It's just too bad you can't see the floor of my office right now. What a disaster area we have right now. I did a prototype before the video and I haven't cleaned up since doing that one. So I'm just trying to take off some of the white area because when I'm collaging I kind of just like to see the text block more than some of this other stuff. So just trying to make it a little bit tighter so that when I'm pulling it apart later I don't have to be tearing all this little white bits off. Okay. I mean, different people, different strokes, different folks, right? There's a whole bunch of white space right here, which is actually great for using to journal on. Which is kind of funny. You wouldn't think, hey, I could journal on that, but you know, there is a lot of white space in some of these little pamphlets you get. All right. Okay, so we've got some of our collaging materials ready to go. let's prep our paper bag. So first things first is we need to take off this end so that we can, in fact, have both ends. So how I did that was I left the one side flat, I bent the bottom part back and just cut it straight across. Now we're going to save this part. I know it sounds weird, but it's possible. We'll find a use for that. So just throwing it into the collection. Okay, so now we're going to open our bag up a little bit. Now you see, what I did was I'm going to show you from the top side. So if this is my front, I went up so that the side goes behind. And so now, I don't know if you noticed, but, oh, this one isn't as even. The other one worked better for this. Okay, I'm just going to have to refold this here. Okay, there we go. So then, this part can come up and form that pocket, right? So now we have the pocket here. This folds this way, right? Let's fold that right now. Da, da, da. You don't have to fold it exactly in half, actually, just as long as it's square. Okay. Not sure why that is not wanting to work with me. Okay, so then this side has a little cut out like that. And so I want this side to have a similar cut out like that. This one was a bit deeper than the other one. I'm trying to mimic it. I am not by any means being fussy about that. A little freehanding. I find with freehanding, the more confident you do it, the more successful you are at it. Whether you really were feeling confident about it or not seems to make a huge difference. Ah. Water. Okay, so before gluing everything down, collage first. Now this area doesn't have any kinds of pattern on it, and so on this side we have that same thing where this side doesn't really have a lot on it. So I might not cover that part. I might just cover this part. We'll see. I have some different ideas, but so first things first. If you forget where that line is, because sometimes you can forget where the line is, you can always draw a marker line here so that you know where your fold line is. But you can also do this thing where you just kind of figure out where your collage line is, because you really don't need to collage all the way into your pocket. You just need to collage just slightly below. So if I get close to that line, I'm going to be happy. All right. So I'm going to grab my glue book out. I'll keep my scissors handy for now. Okay, let's get going. So I am just going to tear and glue. That is literally it. And I am going to use my Oohoo glue stick for this. It is paper to paper, so it works really good. So we're going to ink these bits afterward. I suppose you could ink each individual one starting right from the beginning. But that just sounds really tedious to me. Like we would be here all day. And we can ink it at the end and it still looks pretty darn good. Okay, and so I'm going to go around. Oh, I kind of squared off my nice scoop, but that's okay. So I'm just tearing off different shapes. I'm using the exact same paper, same print, just going different directions slightly. I am only thinking about using just this one because it actually makes it a lot easier to just kind of go hard. And it's interesting, like when you're trying to do this, bang it out in a hurry, just kind of get it done. It's amazing how it looks quite different, just like if you use the one piece of ephemera, in this case our prescription notes, and just glue it down haphazardly all over. So I'm just going to tear some bits get some different shapes happening. Alright, so I'm just being very liberal with the glue. So as I'm following kind of the line across the top just a little bit, you know, I'm putting it at different angles and stuff. And I do like how that looks. So I'm not worried about that straight edge there. I think that will look fine. Just look at that. Peeking out like that. Doesn't that look good? Okay. So I'm just going to pull this back so I can kind of see how far I need to go. Not too far, actually. Just like that would be good. Okay. Put that piece there. So I'm kind of layering a bit. I'm not too worried about layering it, as this is very, very thin paper. So it's not going to add a lot of bulk if you happen to get like 2 or 3 thicknesses in a spot. It's going to be fine. So I'm just kind of filling in as I, you know, feel like. I'm just kind of going as the spirit moves me, so to speak. And I think I'll start some on this side and come back. Let's see some of this stuff in the middle here. Oh, let's get us a little more glue up there. Okay, let's see here. Okay, tuck that in the pocket. So you could tuck this over if you're going to do this on the other side. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the other side yet, so I'm not going to glue down. I'm not going to wrap around to the back side. At least not yet. You could, though. What I'm telling you is you totally could do that. Okay. I hope you're having a great day. The sun is out here in sunny Alberta, Canada, and it is a lovely day to get in the craft room because, you know, it's sunny. It's actually not that warm out there yet. It's still early morning, so it's a perfect time to get in here before the kids are up and get a little creative. Oh, I don't like, because that's it's following the exact same angle as that, so I don't actually like how that looks. Ah! And that follows the same angle there. Okay, maybe there. When is your favorite time to craft during the day? Do you have a best time? Or do you just kind of sneak it in when you can? If you have a craft room, you can kind of just leave it and come back as you need to. I mean, that's ultimately the ideal. But we don't all get that. We don't always have that blessing. Being able to leave our things out and undisturbed, in an undisturbed way. That doesn't always happen. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm just tearing off little extra bits because I might want to use them somewhere. Oh, I'll put that one around. Okay, see? Tiny little spot there. Tiny little piece here. Boom. Done. Tiny little piece here. Perfect. We got a little piece here. So I'm quite a bit above my line that I made there. It's kind of funny, so much for it being a guiding line. I made it a little too high yet. All right. My glue book is starting to really glue my pages down right on there on the glue book instead of where I want them to be. Okay. Oh, that little bit there, I want to cover that too. Dun, dun, dun. Good. I'm just trying to make this work in here. Doesn't really want to go in there all good. Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to trim the edge. You can wait till this dries. Obviously that would be easier. Be careful you don't cut your paper bag or you lose the benefit of it being a pocket. Guess you could always glue it back if you do cut it. Not everything is permanent damage. For some reason this one side is lifting up, so I'm just going to give it a little extra glue in that corner. Okay, now this front part. So after working with this stuff for a little bit, then I was thinking, let's change it up, and that's kind of what I did here on this prototype. Is this was the medicine sheet, and then this is book page down here, which I kind of like how that looks. So let's do that again. Let me see what I've got for book page here. Got a few little scrappy scraps in my junk pile. Oh, here's some good ones. Okay. So I'm just going to tear and glue. Again, it's the same idea. So some of these just are, you know, subject matter that I'm not interested in really reading on here. So there's two ways we can do this top bit. You can do it right to the edge here, or you can go slightly over the edge so that you tuck in and around in the pocket to make it just a little easier to slide in and out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to line up the edge here. It might be over. Oops. Well, so then let's be over if we're going to say we're going to be over at the top. So that when we come into the back here, we actually are going to come around. I'm going to add a little extra glue because it's got to stay around on this side. There. It just makes it easier to get in and out of the pocket later. Alright. Let's see. Is that what I tore off? That is what I tore off. Okay. Okay, I put that one there. Sorry I got quiet there for a second as I'm trying to read what I don't want necessarily seen, or what do I want seen. It's kind of funny. How distracting that can be. Alright, so this whole lip has been covered now, so that's kind of handy. Oh, let's pull this one down a little more here. There we go. And now I unstuck it. Let's just be generous with the glue for this part because it's like a seam or like a this place is going to be very busy with movement, so we want to make sure that it's going to hold up the test of time. Okay, I'll put this corner down. Yep. Give it a shot. Oh, no, redo. Line it up to that edge. I think I should have snipped this edge that's like crinkly or kind of like a zigzaggy edge, because it is very frustrating to try to line up to that side. There. I lined up with my fold first, and that seemed to help more. So now you see me taking off some of the white space that I don't really want on here. Oh, this has some pencil marks on here, so I'm just going to erase those. Okay. All right. I like that. I think that looks good. And so we kind of have that last piece through the middle, which is fine if it goes across to the other side. Like having it come across actually is kind of an interesting thing. Alright, so now I'm going to trim off this bottom bit just to make it even. And again, you want to just be careful that you're not taking your pocket and making it an opening. Alright, so I'm just going to shove my clutter off to the side. Okay, so now comes out the distress ink. So this is the Tim Holtz Ground Espresso distress ink that's been put on top of my coffee bean stamp pad. And I just needed to re-ink. I'm like, why not just add the Tim Holtz stuff? So now is the fun time where we can check and see what we need to repair. And then also we can just rub extra ink on there, so like something that's brand new can look a little older. Some of our reusing our junk stuff can have an age to look to it. See, look, this is old French prescription information. See how vintage this looks now? I kind of like it myself to just be a little darker, but I like the neutral style background. Because we used just the one kind there, it's very neutral even though it's got a bit of a pattern. Okay, so this side too, I'm going to give it a little rub. Part of that will help it show up the different pieces that are on here, which is part of the fun, right? We want to show that there was some collaging done. We want to, you know, highlight that part. Okay. Alright, and then I'm also going to ink the edge here of the pocket, just to make it stand out a bit more in case it didn't. There we go. Okay. Happy with the inking now. Okay, so now's the time to start gluing our pocket shut. So, when we're gluing this, we want to keep this section completely open. But we need to glue, if I open this a little bit, so right up to here, we want this to stay open. But past that, here, this needs to be shut. And then this part needs to be glued on there. So it's just easiest, I'm going to use tacky glue, just easiest to do all four at the same time and then press it into place. So I'm going to tuck in and just kind of put a bead of glue there, and then on top I'm doing it on the flat part because then that tells you exactly the distance that you need to go. Alright, whoa, I'm getting the shakes. Must be breakfast time pretty soon. Okay. There we are. Okay, so I'm kind of lining it up in the center and then I'm going to press to the outside. There we go. Alright, so now, if you see, we have that one open pocket and then we have the pocket here. And keep in mind that this is going to fold in the middle, which we're going to make that fold again. Now that we've added all that extra layer of stuff, it's just good to make sure that it's going to fold. Okay. Good. So this side is done. This I'm going to just straighten out. That little piece is bugging me. Ooh, the sun is coming in pretty warm now. Alright. Okay, so I could put a piece right on here of ephemera. I had, so these are not photos, at least they're not my photos. What they are is, they're from a travel magazine. You know, it's amazing how you can find pieces. You know, there's really great pictures. This is a nice one there. Swans. So that one goes the right direction. So does this one. Oh, and it's almost exactly the right size there. Ooh, I love that. Okay, I'm going to trim off the green because I think that's going to give us the size that we need. I'm going to see if I can't do this by hand rather than just yanking out my paper cutter, because I do have a guideline here to follow. So let's hope I can trim somewhat straight when I have a line to follow. Although, okay. So in the essence of trying to be using up True Junky stuff, these are magazine pieces. Alright, I like that. I like that on there. And I don't mind that the other bits show through. I mean, that looks fine to me. Okay, so we'll see if magazine is shiny, so we'll see if the Oohoo is going to hold it. It might not. It might be too shiny and just kind of pop off. So in the course of our project, if we find that that's the case, then I will come back with tacky glue and just solve that little issue. I like to use Oohoo where I can. Tacky glue is a little bit more money. But it looks as if, I mean, I can already tell that that's not going to do it. So, alright, back to the tacky glue idea. So I'm going to do tacky glue around the outside, and a bit of Oohoo in the middle, because as long as it's not going to pull, the Oohoo will hold. But the minute there's any kind of movement, the Oohoo's going to let go. So there we go. Alright, so our front is done. We need something on the back. Now I had this image that I wanted to use, I thought. Look how pretty that is. Could we just use it over top like that? Or should we put something there? You know, I actually don't mind it just like that. I was thinking that we need to put something under it, but I like it. Just standing against the paper bag. And this is from, I don't know, like a flyer we got in the mail. It's newsprint. That's what it is. So it has kind of a papery feel, just like a similar feel to the paper bag, honestly. Oh, that is not straight. Let's try that again. I'm trying to line up the bottom cut here. Oh, there we go. And the bird seems a little more central. Okay, so that solved that problem of should we cover the paper bag with something or not. I mean, you could put a digital over it, or you could put, like, I have some letters, some old letters that could go on. But, I mean, I like the images. Those are kind of nice. All right. So now it's time to decorate. So let's see what we've got here. Oh, this is cute. All you need is love and maybe a little ice cream. That one's going to have to go in here. Maybe that's going to go on something. Let's see what colors we have in here. We have kind of an orangey red. There's a tiny hint of purple. There's some green. Do we have anything that has those colors in? I'm just seeing in my stash beside me here whether or not I think that could work. What's some other things? Oh. Okay, there's this that my daughter gave me. This yellow could work really well. Look at that. And I actually don't mind that at all. Okay, I'm going to pull out my paper cutter for this because I want it to be straight. And heavens knows getting a straight edge isn't always easy when the lines are going diagonal to what you're cutting. Okay. I want a little more yellow. I think I might take that whole bit. Alright. And this way. I'm sorry if you can't see it at the bottom here. I'm just kind of doing the same thing, eyeballing where I want it, how much yellow border I want. And then, there we go. So that's cute, right? Oh, I guess I should have measured. Maybe that's going to be one that goes in here then. Because it'll fit in here, even though it won't fit in here because, of course, the glue takes part of the pocket, right? So, well, it would fit this way. Alright, so I am going to put glue on here. And it is, these are both shiny, really shiny. So, that then means we're going to use the tacky glue for it to stay together. I do try to use a lot of recycling when I'm making my journaling because I find it interesting. Also as a challenge as far as, like, I see everybody doing stuff with their digitals, and that's nice and everything. But then what about the rest of us who, you know, are thinking, is that really a junk journal? Is it really not a junk journal? I'm going to use a piece of coffee dyed paper. See, so this is me. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to glue it down first. So it's going to be a journaling card. I'll glue it down. Actually, you know what? Then I can use my scissors and just cut around it. So this side's going to have the coffee dye on. And the other side is going to have that cute little cutout from a magazine. So that's kind of a what's on your desk kind of thing sometimes. Like with these magazine images, I hardly know what I've cut out unless I kind of flip through them pretty regularly. I don't know if you have that same problem, but sometimes it's hard to remember what you have in order to build a page. Sometimes you just need to have a collection of things and then just use what's there. So like this all you need is love thing, I had just discovered it today and I thought, oh, I wonder if that'll work. So I put it in a collection of potential focus points or journal cards for today. And then, look, the perfect one. Really cute. Okay, so that one's done. So I'm trying to make the ephemera that's going to go in here as well as the pocket itself, the double pocket, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it's a quad pocket. Quad pocket, paper bag, quad pocket. What are we going to call this? Okay. So this is kind of interesting how it's kind of long. I'm wondering if we can put take off part of this. And this part. I love this little umbrella here in the background. I guess it's a parasol because it doesn't look like it's raining. Oh, I'm going to take off some of that and just soften that edge a little. I definitely want to keep the parasol in there, so I'm just going to kind of come up the side of it. All right. So those guys would be hilarious right there. I mean, super fun, right? So I'm just going to glue them straight down because I love them. There's nothing else to be said about it. I know this is going there. You know how sometimes you know. And you see how I'm kind of mixing a combination of old images and new images, because that's just my style. It's just a little bit of everything. What I like, that's what my style is. Oh, I like that. Okay, in it goes. And you can be, you know, a purist and say, oh, I'm only going to use, you know, vintage ephemera, the real thing, none of this digital kits or whatever. And I mean, okay, so then that's your style. But I like to use a little bit of everything. Just go with what I love. And just seems to take the stress out of it for me, and then it becomes more of a relaxation type deal. If you're not doing it to have a good time and it's stressing you out, I'd suggest walk away and then come back. Okay, so we do have these two little pieces left over, which kind of could go together. Do you see that? And kind of make an image over here. So let's try that. I'm not worried about the bottom because we'll trim that one to the right size. Oh, and I like how that line just kind of keeps coming across. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one down first because that one is going to help me line up the other one. She looks so happy and I'm putting glue all over her face. Sorry about that. Hope you don't mind. Alright. Okay, so this is going to hang over a little bit on the bottom and on the side, as I recall. So I'm not putting glue right to the edge on there because why waste and get sticky all over my desk. Oh, lower. There it is. That's the one. Okay. Yeah, still got sticky on my desk. Okay. So this one's turning out a little differently than the other one. So I didn't put photos on the bottom. But this is just what we came across. So now we're going with it, right? Okay. So I'm going to get these gluey bits off. Where's that rag? I'm just going to rub that so we don't get... I'll wash it later, but for right now, let's not get glue all over the back of the project we're working on. Okay, I think these guys look great. I didn't put a lot of decoration at the top here, so if you see me taking the ephemera out, it's pretty plain, right? I just put one little thing there because I wanted to fix the corner, honestly. But I also like how it kind of looked with that. So, but these do have labels down here, which I kind of like. So maybe we should look for those. And then we need little cards to put in. So that's the other thing to look for. Let's see. We want some of these old-timey pictures in. They're going the wrong way to fit. That's the only problem, hey? Whoops. So I think well, that suits there, doesn't it? Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to take these out and then take a look at some of the ephemera that I have already kind of put together. That could tuck in. Or I could use this old check. This is a Metro bus pass for Paris. Kind of fun. There's a nice little tag. There's another one of these that's not as decorated. That one's kind of suits it more, maybe. There's one of these. What else is here? There's an index card that's been distressed. Like some of these I made, some of these I've been given. Sorry that you can't see what I'm looking through, but it's just a collection of bits and pieces of things. Oh, and I'm really glad I didn't put that in front because it has an address on here. That's kind of cute. I should put mine out like that. Oh, that's pretty. That's really not the right colors, is it? Not more. We've been going with those. So here's a couple choices anyway. Some of these, like I said, have been given to me, and other ones I have done myself. That tab is just a little low for that to work. Alright. So there. I like the yellows to go with the yellow on this side. So maybe we'll switch this one to a little more pinky side. That was from a design team thing. This is a digital. And so is this. This is a digital as well. Okay, those are basically the same height. All three of those. So that's not good, right? We want to have a variety in heights. So one thing we can do is just fold this and make this into a little booklet. And then it becomes just this tall. Ah, the stamping is on the wrong side. Okay. Like that. And then maybe tuck this one in. Or tuck this one in front so you can see the butterfly better. What do you like here? A couple things like that. We need something in the end here. Oh. Change of plan. Do do do. Do do do. It has a tab, and it kind of goes in this pocket really nicely because look, then it comes right out with the tab, doesn't it? I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. That's so silly. Alright, so now we just need to put, I think I'm going to just pull a little bit of this off. Awesome. And we'll glue that on. We'll see if it'll stick on here. It's from a fairy tale book. I guess you kind of get that idea from the title. And I was thinking about using words and things on here, but you know what? That one was on my desk. And it's one of those things where if it's on your desk, use it. Use it when you see it, when you think it's perfect, because Once Upon a Time really fits these old style, old style photos. Okay. Then I do have these little chipboard words. I'm trying to think of something that's going to go here. Boys and their toys. That's not going to work. Love and happiness. Sweet friends, maybe. Playtime. That's quite big. I need something smaller. Built tough. treasure. It's just the wrong color though. Bit too fat. Forever in my heart. Generations of love. Happy together. Oh, it's so big. But if I got rid of so, there we go. Happy together. That is perfect. Okay, so now I've got this little bit that I don't know what to do with. I'm going to throw it in here. Hopefully I'll find it when I need it later. Alright, so now do we want just this, or do we want a little something underneath? Let's just take a look at some of the lacy things I have. Oh, I don't know about those. I feel like those ones are going to be too much for that. So let's just see about the smaller trims I happen to have here. Okay. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking. I have a few lace trims, if you notice. My daughter, bless her heart, helped me to organize all these. And so I have some choices here. I'm really spoilt for choice, aren't I? And if you think that's not enough, then these are actually, there's a second layer under some of this. But I think this is the one that I was thinking of. Although, let's see what's in this one again. Yeah, no. It's either this one. This is my bits and pieces a little bit. The bigger bits and pieces, the small bits and pieces go in my bits and pieces block. Okay, let's move this out of the way for temporary time. Oh, the wood wants to follow me. Alright, you go back over there too. Okay, where's the end? You people, you have an end. Alright. Oh, that's right there. Okay. Glad I didn't cut too hard. Just use scrap paper to make it. So what I'm thinking is layer it so that it hangs down a little. But we still see a little bit above. You see what I'm saying? Just, okay. Like that. Okay, right there. I'm glad thought came to me because this is really pretty. I had gotten this, if you can believe it, at like Dollarama or Dollar Tree or something, like a dollar store. That was what a crazy awesome deal. And I really like how it looks. Okay, so we're putting it basically right across here. So I'm just going to put the glue down there instead of on the lace because, you know, putting on the lace is going to be fraught with challenges. And I want to kind of center it. So again, so it's just hanging down the smallest bit. And then on this one, we're going to glue on the back here. So, I don't know if you guys can hear bacon sizzling, but my family, bless their heart, is making breakfast and it is starting to smell so good. I am really glad that they've decided to do that because I was getting awfully hungry. Okay. So there we go. So this is our, what are we going to call it? Paper bag quad pocket. I think that's what we'll call it. Paper bag quad pocket. And so we get a little bit of crinkling happening, which I don't know, kind of adds to the charm, I guess. And lots and lots of places to stick ephemera, which is, you and I both know, that's where it's at. We definitely want places to put all of our goodies. And like I said, tons and tons of places to do that. You could even put a pocket on here, and then, you know, all these like smaller bits of things that you get, you know, you could put in a tiny pocket here too, if you wanted to. I mean, this is very versatile. This is just a base. But here's a couple of examples of what you could do and how cute do they look. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I hope you are too. So